Without the things from God, such as conscience, hope, love, faith, etc., the body soon deteriorates, and eventually dies. Remember Christopher Reeves? He lost all hope and died a lot faster than he should have. He never accepted his fate. He wanted death over being confined to a chair. And he got it. Superman died a disgruntled person. Is that you, Stephen Hawking? We are the only animals with free will and a spirit self, but when we totally dampen our spirit, we become just like any other animal. A totally carnal mind will destroy the body that's attached to it, because it has no limiter. So I'm saying that maybe that's what happened to you. Now, I'm not a Stephen Hawking hater, but I don't want him to shatter the world's hope just because he has lost hope. Some non-believers have been waiting for a very prominent and smart person to confirm their notion that there is no need for a God to exist, and that something else may be responsible for the universe. But God does exist, and he did create this universe. Yet also understand that God does not live in this universe. His spirit dwells in us as in other beings, but heaven is not in this universe. His throne is not on a planet out there somewhere. Understand that this universe is not all that exists. It's just all that we as humans can see. Remember my fish scenario from earlier. And before you can enjoy the benefits of God and Jesus Christ, you first have to surrender and accept that they exist. When you do, then go to a quiet place and meditate and acknowledge that you want to believe and know God better. In other words, go pray. God is faithful enough to respond. But know that he is not a toy. Don't tempt God in your prayers. Surrender and ask for the help you need in this life. If you are willing to believe that he hears you, you will be able to hear or feel his response. Remember the earlier fish scenario. God trying to talk to you in your unbelief is just like you trying to talk to a fish in the ocean. You can't know God by testing, tempting, or trying to trick him into revealing himself. Once you have finally connected with our God, then you need to find scriptures to reinforce what you now believe. I find that Proverbs in the Bible is a good start, because it is about a man telling his son the best ways to live on this earth as a human who believes in God. It's better to first learn some of the right ways to live according to God before you get into all the church or denominational stuff. Religion itself can destroy your faith if you are not careful. And only let the words of God judge you. Look at the 10 Commandments for starters. Remember everyone, God is God, and religion is religion. Most times they are not one and the same thing. Don't let people destroy your faith in God, because you will reap the consequences of your mistakes. There is a heaven and a hell, maybe not like some religions depict, but they do exist. We will be held accountable, and our weak excuses for not believing won't be accepted. You can see in nature that there is a God, and nature shows no favoritism and will act how and where it pleases, and so will God. Money can't buy God's judgment. Don't be misled by the fake Jews, false Christians, deceptive Muslims, or any other group that misleads us about God. This life is about you and God. You must live and die and face God. No one else will be responsible for you. Be careful to not be fooled by the world, or people like Stephen Hawking. Remember, that man is hurting inside and his heart is probably hardened. But he doesn't see that his ailment can be a blessing if he turns his faith around. He is in a great position to avoid sins that an ordinary man might commit, if you know what I mean. So right now the only sin he is committing is to teach other people to be faithless and unbelieving. I hope this video draws you closer to God or prevents you from walking away from God. Don't ever be frustrated with God, be frustrated with you, or with the evil in the world. God doesn't have to answer to us because he has the power to make the world forget this existence ever was. In fact, that's what he said at the end of the Bible in Revelations 21. Please go read it and you'll see what is to happen eventually. And finally, know that there is a big air war going on around us that humans can't see. There is a battle between spirits and principalities. It's like when a parent tells a child, stay out of grown folks' business. The war between good and evil is, heavenly, grown folks' business. When it's all over, we will reap the benefits for just believing and siding with God. Yeah, Satan and God have a real battle, and it is not ours. Yet we are what the battle is about. I will get into that at another time. As usual, my words are my words, and I hold the right to my words. Don't worry about searching my profile for insight, just hear what I have to say and govern yourself accordingly. Hopefully you will do it with the help of the Lord. And of course I am not the person you hear speaking. Who knows who I am at this point? Does it matter? Until next time, Mr. Exposer of your lies.